Have you ever wondered if the Qantas Domestic Business Class Lounge at the Brisbane airport was worth the extra cost? Today I'm going to deep dive into the pros and the cons, the perks, the benefits, the good, bad and the ugly, and together we can assess if the business class lounge is in fact worth it. Of course, I'm going to include some hacks on how to maximize the value, not to mention Qantas Points. Well, of course, we'll touch on Qantas Points. All right, assessing the Qantas business class lounge is not as easy as it seems. There's many factors that go into play when I personally decide whether or not I'm going to upgrade from economy to business. But let's start with who's eligible to enter the business class lounge. Of course, it goes without saying, but if you have a business class ticket on a Qantas or a Jetstar flight, you have access to the business class lounge. But also, if you're a Qantas Platinum or Platinum 1 member, whether you're flying economy, business or first, you have access to the business class lounge automatically. One World Emerald members and above also have access to the business class lounge. If you're a traditional Qantas Club member, this is where it gets a bit tricky. You have access to the normal Qantas lounge, which is to the right as soon as you walk through security. The business class lounge is to the left, and of course you have to show your booking ticket or your One World status or your Qantas status level, and one of those three may get you into that lounge. You can't purchase a day pass to access the business lounge. You have to be one of the aforementioned ways in order to gain access to that lounge. Stepping into the lounge, you're greeted with a modern L-shaped layout designed for comfort and productivity. Expect a mix of lounge chairs, workstations and quiet zones. Wi-Fi is fast and reliable and ideal for obviously catching up on work or browsing. And honestly, the ambience. So there's lots of bright, airy spaces with natural lighting because the entire lounge is covered by windows on looking to the tarmac. It has beautiful contemporary design elements, and many people are either traveling for work or for leisure. All food and drinks are complimentary. They are all included if you're in that lounge. They vary throughout the day. So for example, the bar opens at lunchtime. Of course, no alcoholic drinks before then, but you have options for coffee, tea, soft drinks. There's cordial, and of course filtered and sparkling water. When we took this footage, we were there for breakfast. So they had scrambled eggs, muesli, pastries, bread, even gluten-free bread, had baked beans, it had sausages, and of course an array of orange and apple juices as well. It also had a salad bar with ham, so you can make yourself a sandwich. If you're there for lunch or dinner, of course this entire buffet area changes to adapt to the time of the day. You also have a section next to this area which is like a live oven, so a chef comes out with pre-made shepherd's pies or pastas of sorts. This happens usually around lunchtime and dinner time. Obviously you have to be there at the right time for this to happen. There's no set times for this. And also sometimes I've been in the lounge where they come around with a tray of food and hand out to the people within the lounge. So they do cater for all different things at all different times. And regarding the coffees as well, they have beautiful barista made coffees, and you can also, as a side note, order from the Skip app. If any of you are familiar with the Skip app, you can download it and actually order and skip the queue. So if there is a long queue, you order on the Skip app, your order just goes into the queue behind the last person that ordered. So it's a unique way to get your coffee faster. They have Australian wines and beers after 12. I'm happy with the amount of food and drinks on offer. It's not, first class, it's not economy, but it's exactly as it's advertised. It's a nice business class lounge with a really good array of food and drinks. Now onto the good, bad and the ugly. Let's break it down. Let's start with the good. It's super comfortable. The facilities are nice and traditionally very, very clean, and is extremely work friendly, meaning it has ample power outlets and the Wi-Fi is fast and reliable. Now onto the bad. It can get quite crowded at peak travel times, especially around Christmas. Of course, that's a given. You go to airports expecting for it to be busy. It doesn't get as busy as a traditional Qantas Club lounge because, of course, typically speaking, there's only enough people in the business class lounge whom are flying on a business class ticket that day. Not many people are Platinum 1. So typically speaking, the amount of people in the business class lounge at any given time is reasonable. And to be honest, they have lots of seats. I've been there once or twice where it was fully packed, but I've never been turned away. I have seen reports of people when it's too full, they do turn them away. I've been there 25, 30 times in my life, I've never once been turned away. Now onto the ugly. Honestly, the only ugly part about the business class lounge at the domestic airport in Brisbane for Qantas, if you don't have complimentary access just with your ticket or through like a status of some sort, the tickets are quite expensive if you're just purchasing for the lounge. When purchasing a business class ticket, typically you're doing it for the flight experience, and then you get the lounge, you get extra luggage, and there's a lot of other features which I'll go into a bit later as well. Just the lounge alone though is not worth the business class ticket, but it is part of the whole package. Now you might be wondering, how does the business class lounge compare to the normal lounge just outside of it? And honestly, it really comes down to how busy it gets, the facilities, and the food and drink options. From memory, their bar is self-serve, so you go up and you pour yourself a beer or a soft drink. You make your own food, so there's a salad bar line. Lots and lots of people in there, normally more and more kids in that lounge as well. So if you are there for work and you want some quiet time, there's not many spots where you can get away from the noise, as opposed to the business class lounge, which is traditionally business people traveling. There's a lot more space, areas for some quiet time. One big thing to mention, there are showers available in the business class lounge. Of course, the business class lounge is much more premium and the quality of food is much better. You actually get traditional restaurant style buffet meals as opposed to the normal lounge. Honestly, if you're not too fussed about what food you're getting, as long as you're getting food, drinks, and so on and so forth, they both have food and drinks. That's not part of the equation. It's the quality and the experience of the lounge is a little bit better, but it really comes down to your purpose of traveling. If it's just for leisure, whether you go the normal lounge or the business class lounge, you'll have a good experience in both. The traditional lounge offers comfort, convenience, of course, food and drinks. It just doesn't have the bells and whistles that come with the business class lounge. Now, the million-dollar question is that business class lounge worth it? Is it worth the extra cash or the extra Qantas points required to upgrade from an economy ticket to a business ticket? The simple answer is yes, if you value comfort, productivity, and a premium flight experience. No, if you're on a budget or aren't too fussed about the added extras that you get in the business lounge. But remember, the business class lounge is an aspect of the entire package you get when you purchase a business class ticket. So you need to compare all 4 or 5 benefits when purchasing a business class ticket. When buying a business class ticket, you have to factor in the extra baggage allowance, the amazing flight experience with the air hostess at the front of the plane, priority boarding and check-in as well, and the business class lounge itself. Here's my travel hack. I've been doing this for as long as I can remember. It's the best way to maximize the value and the cash or the points that you spent in order to achieve a business class ticket. I always book my flight for the afternoon. Most people don't know, but if you have a Qantas or a Jetstar business class ticketed flight, at the end of the day, you can actually arrive the morning of and have access to the lounge for the entire day. So for example, if you arrive at 5 a.m. in the morning, you can actually have the entire work day there. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, hot and cold throughout the entire day, Wi-Fi, you can make business calls, emails, everything for the entire day and enjoy the entire day with a buffet style experience, all while your flight's at 6, 7, 8 or 9 o'clock at night. You can arrive first thing in the morning. The lounge normally opens about an hour or two before the first flight departs for the day. To wrap up, the Qantas Business Class Lounge offers a premium experience. That combined with the business class flight itself, the extra baggage, the priority boarding, it really just comes down to, can you afford to go business? If you can, of course, it's a much better experience. If you can't, don't stretch your budget and don't spend credit card money or money that you don't have in order to achieve it. It's not a level of class that requires you to break the bank. In my opinion, I love flying business class wherever I go. But if I did not have the points to pay for that ticket, I would only consider paying cash if the flight was over 5 hours. I'm happy to fly economy in the traditional Qantas lounge if the flight is under 5 hours in length, unless I really needed the extra checked baggage, because Qantas or Jetstar would charge me a fortune to put through another 10, 20 or 30 kilograms of luggage anyway. So I would weigh up the cost of the extra luggage against the cost of the ticket in order to upgrade to a business class ticket, and I would compare the differences. And if the difference was still small enough, I may end up going business in order to have the extra luggage, the lounge, and the better flight experience. The standard lounge is amazing and you can purchase membership to get access to it. If you fly more than 3 times a year, the cost the food is going to cost you on the normal part of the airport from the normal stalls plus the airport tax, because it's expensive, That will pay for your membership. I always arrive around 5 a.m. and I try to book my flights late in the afternoon so I can spend the whole day enjoying the buffet and the drinks. Everyone is different, however, and you may not have the means in order to spend the whole day at the airport, and that is okay. If you only have a 1 or 2 hours window where you can get to the airport early, the business class lounge may not even be worth it. You might not get to experience the entire lounge and the multiple food options they have. So if it's a short flight, a short distance, and you have a short time at the airport, it's not worth upgrading to business unless you really wanted that flight experience or the extra baggage. I would love everyone to experience a business class or a first class flight at least once in their life, but by no means do I recommend breaking the bank in order to do so. Save up the Qantas points, save your cash, and focus on making sure that every flight you do purchase or every upgrade you purchase, that you only use Qantas points to do so. You'll save a lot of money in the long run. Please hit like if you found this useful, and don't forget to subscribe for more travel hacks with Em and Josh. If you have any questions or want to share your lounge experiences or your thoughts on this video, whether you agree or disagree, share them in the comments and we can discuss. Let me know what other travel tips or hints or ideas you'd like me to share next. Until next time.